I knew something was off the moment she came home from Planet Fitness with her makeup still intact. Now, I'm not a beauty guru or anything, but I've been married to Haley for 9 years. I know what she looks like after a real workout. Ponytail askew, cheeks flushed, that little smear of mascara under her eyes like she just cried during an Orange Theory breakup. But now she came home looking camera ready. Hair down, gym bag suspiciously light, not a single drop of sweat. And somehow always in a better mood than when she left. Floaty, loose, like the gym was serving wine in the locker room. At first, I didn't say anything. She said she joined to feel healthy again. Wanted to tone up, feel empowered. All that stuff people post in Instagram captions next to a blurry mirror selfie and a $14 smoothie. I encouraged it, obviously. Bought her the cute pink gym bag, the Apple Watch, even surprised her with new wireless earbuds. I played the supportive husband role like a pro, but something didn't smell right. Literally. She came back smelling like men's deodorant. I noticed it one night when we hugged on the porch. Her shoulder brushed against mine, and there it was, not her perfume, not shampoo, but that dry, crisp smell of Axe body spray and sweat. Male sweat. Now, I'm not a jealous guy. Never have been. But I am observant. Retired from a logistics job that basically required me to notice when someone moved a box half an inch out of place. I once spotted an embezzlement scheme at work based on the toner orders. So yeah, patterns are kind of my thing. And Haley? She'd changed her whole routine. Used to be a morning person. Suddenly, she felt more motivated to hit the gym at 5 p.m. Right when I was wrapping up work calls, and the parking lot was packed with testosterone-fueled dudes in string tanks slamming pre-workout and posing in the mirror. She also stopped inviting me to come along. Your knees, she'd say. You wouldn't like it. Too loud. That was the third red flag. I don't care if the gym plays death metal and smells like boiled socks. No woman goes to Planet Fitness in full makeup at 5 p.m. on a weekday and refuses to break a sweat without something going on. So I did what any concerned, non-confrontational, coldly curious husband would do. I joined the gym. Under a fake name. It wasn't hard. Planet Fitness doesn't exactly run background checks on Steve from accounting. I signed up online, paid for a prepaid card, and registered under the name Mark Sullivan. Generic. Boring. Exactly what I needed. I chose the same location. Same time slot. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5:15 p.m. The first night, I wore a hoodie and ball cap low over my eyes. Wireless earbuds in, volume off. I didn't even work out. Just strolled on the treadmill in the corner while pretending to scroll through playlists. And there she was. Haley. Full face of makeup. Black leggings, crop top, hair in that fake messy bun that somehow took 10 minutes to arrange. Laughing. Not stretching. Not warming up. Laughing. With a guy who looked like he walked off a TikTok thirst trap, mid-20s, built like an imposter, backwards hat, and hands way too familiar with her lower back. He wore a badge clipped to his tank top. Personal trainer. Of course. They chatted by the water fountain for a while. She touched his bicep. He laughed. She followed him into the private training rooms near the back, the ones with the frosted glass doors and one-on-one sessions only signs. They were in there for 47 minutes. Don't ask how I know. I timed it. She came out first, smiling, hair slightly down, shirt slightly rumpled. No water bottle. No towel. Not even pretending to be tired. He came out a minute later, also smiling. Didn't even glance toward the training desk. Just walked Haley out the front door like a gentleman escorting someone after a first date. I didn't confront her that night. Didn't ask what routine she was on or why she needed 47 minutes of glut activation in a closed-door session with a man who looked like he lived on boiled chicken and mirror selfies. Instead, I smiled. Because now I knew. And once I know, I don't get mad. I get methodical. You'd be amazed how easy it is to disappear in a gym full of people trying to be noticed. All I had to do was dress like I didn't belong. Baggy shirt. No branded gear. Those fake wireframe glasses that scream low testosterone. I blended in better than the janitor. Everyone there was too focused on their own reflection or trying to out-rep the guy next to them. Nobody gave a second thought to the middle-aged guy pacing between water fountains and pretending to check his heart rate. I made it a routine. 3 days a week. In and out. Never spoke to her. Never let her see me. Never broke my pace. I used the machines like a tourist uses a map, just long enough to look legit, never long enough to sweat. Meanwhile, Haley? She was thriving. Every session, she'd walk in like she was starring in a commercial. That same high ponytail, those strategically ripped leggings, and that light perfume she used to save for date nights. Sometimes she'd do 5 minutes on the elliptical, just enough to look winded, before casually bumping into her new BFF, the personal trainer with the Kindle smile and a body that screamed. I peaked at 25. I eventually learned his name from the front desk roster. Troy. You can't make this stuff up. Troy had that exact vibe you think he did. Perfect teeth, slightly orange tan, and the kind of voice that sounded like he once failed a lie detector by accident. He wasn't subtle, either. I watched him place his hand on Haley's waist as she did form corrections. Watched them giggle near the smoothie bar. Watched them duck into that back room like clockwork. Every single time. I was done watching after the second week. I'd seen enough. The body language was undeniable. The disappearing act was too consistent. This wasn't flirtation. It was familiarity, intimacy, repetition. But I didn't blow up. That's not me. You don't win by reacting. You win by building the stage. So I started planting seeds. First move, I signed up for a training session. With Troy, I used a fake backstory, claimed I was trying to drop weight, and surprised my wife for our anniversary. Played dumb, wore a brace on my knee, and told him I had old man hips. He lapped it up. Troy, like most guys like Troy, couldn't resist being the expert in the room. Don't worry, bro. We'll get you right. You're gonna feel 25 again. I nearly choked on my water. We scheduled a one-on-one for the following Monday. I made sure it overlapped with Haley's regular time slot. He didn't even flinch when he saw her walk in while I was mid-push-up. Didn't even blink. Which told me everything I needed to know. She wasn't a secret. I was just a non-entity. That night, I went home and played nice. How was the gym? I asked casually while rinsing dishes. Good, she said. Leg day? Killed me. She flexed her arm. Smiled. I almost laughed. She didn't work legs. Not in the room she went into. That one had carpet, mood lighting, a stereo system that played lo-fi beats. The only squats happening in there were metaphorical. She went to bed early. Said she was exhausted. I stayed up, scrolling through my phone with a glass of bourbon and a different kind of exhaustion. Not emotional, just mental. The kind of tired that comes from watching someone you used to know become a stranger with better contouring. Then it hit me. I didn't need to catch her in the act. I didn't need to scream, cry, beg, or expose her to her face. I just needed to show everyone who she really was. So I came up with the party idea. We had her birthday coming up, her 34th, and normally she made a big deal out of it. Champagne, friends, giant balloons that said the number in gold foil. Last year, she even hired a bartender to make custom cocktails and passed out hangover kits with her initials printed on them. This year, I told her I wanted to plan it myself. She looked shocked at first. Really? You never care about parties. I want to do something different, I said. You've been working so hard on yourself. I thought we could make it fitness-themed. She beamed. Like workout clothes and stuff? Exactly, I said. Athleisure, smoothies, protein bars. Maybe a slideshow of your progress. She actually blushed, like I was finally recognizing the effort. She had no idea what I meant by progress. Over the next 2 weeks, I designed the whole thing. Sent out e-veets to all our friends, her coworkers, even a couple of the gym regulars she sometimes posted selfies with. I labeled it Before and After. Haley's Transformation Birthday Bash. I made t-shirts, rented a projector, bought a cake shaped like a dumbbell. And during that same time, I played my final card. I hired Troy, but not to train me, to disappear. I offered him 3 times his going rate for one simple job. Ghost her. I told him to cancel all sessions with Haley for the week leading up to her party. No explanation. No texts. No replies. Just leave her on read. At first, he hesitated. Said it felt a little off. So I handed him a manila folder. Inside were stills from gym footage I had quietly screen-recorded off the wall monitors when no one was looking. Him and Haley, flirting, touching, disappearing behind doors. Dude, he said, blinking. You think this stays quiet? I said. Or do you think the district manager might want to look? He agreed. And just like that, the script flipped. By the time Friday rolled around, Haley was spiraling. She came home early, tossed her gym bag down. I was in the kitchen making a protein shake. Symbolic, sure, but also kind of funny. She looked pissed. I think Troy quit. I raised an eyebrow. Really? He hasn't responded all week. My sessions disappeared. No call, nothing. It's unprofessional. I nodded. Weird. I thought trainers were supposed to be reliable. She huffed and went upstairs. I sipped my shake and smiled. Because tomorrow? Tomorrow was the party. And Haley was about to get the transformation reveal of a lifetime. I woke up the morning of Haley's birthday party like I'd just been promoted to management in hell. Sun shining, birds chirping, and me, calmly icing a dumbbell-shaped cake in the kitchen while Spotify played her Pump Up playlist in the background, the same one she swore she only used during cardio. The irony was thick enough to spread with a spatula. She came downstairs in one of those flowy robes women wear when they want to feel effortlessly gorgeous. Hair in curlers, slippers, big smile. Smells amazing, she said, eyeing the catered protein muffins on the counter. Babe, you really did all this. I handed her a coffee and kissed her forehead. All for you. She twirled away humming. If she had any idea what was coming, she didn't show it. That's the funny thing about narcissists. They never expect the camera to pan away from their close-up. The decorations were over the top, just the way she liked them. Neon-colored streamers, helium balloons spelling Fit and 34, and custom banners with photos of her fake sweating next to a dumbbell she probably never lifted. I'd printed little tent cards that labeled the snacks like they were gym equipment. Kettlebell bites equals meatballs. Pre-workout pops equals lollipops. Glut gains equals chocolate-covered strawberries shaped like peaches. Even the playlist was curated, synth-heavy remixes of workout songs with dramatic beat drops. People started arriving around 2 p.m. First came her girls, the ones who live in leggings and crop tops and say literally dead about things like traffic and almond milk shortages. Then a few coworkers, one of whom definitely had a crush on her, but always acted just friendly. After that, the neighborhood regulars, moms, gym friends, and one overly tan realtor who insisted on handing out business cards at every event like she was sponsored by Zillow. They all brought wine. I served protein smoothies in shaker cups just to keep the tone comically on brand. Haley was glowing, floating around the room in her two-piece matching set, like she was queen of the CrossFit prom. I watched her work the room, all fake laughs and humble brags. Oh, no, I haven't lost that much weight. Just trying to feel strong again, you know? I've been doing a lot of core work. My trainer is a beast. Like, relentless. She said that last one loud enough for half the room to hear. I almost choked on my strawberry glut gains. At exactly 3:45, I tapped my glass with a spoon. The room quieted. Music lowered. I stood near the projector with a remote in one hand and a smile that could have frozen fire. All right, everyone, I said, thanks for coming. Haley's been working so hard on herself this year. We all know it. We've seen the glow up. And I thought, why not celebrate that effort? Haley was standing in the middle of the room, wine glass in hand, beaming like I was about to show a slideshow of her lifting PRs and smoothie recipes. I clicked the remote. The screen lit up with a slide that read, Before and After, Haley's Real Workout Plan. Some people clapped. A few woo. Haley giggled, covered her mouth like she was shy. The first image was innocent, a side-by-side of her in gym gear from last year and this year. Big change. No lie. Next slide. A photo of her entering Planet Fitness. Time-stamped. Third slide. A shot of her laughing with Troy by the smoothie bar. A little flirty, sure, but explainable. People still smiling. Still buying it. Then came the fourth slide. Still image. Haley and Troy, walking into the private training room. No one else around. Timestamp. 5:13 p.m. Slide 5. Same thing. Different day. Same timestamp. Slide 6. Her exiting the room. Shirt wrinkled. Hair down. Water bottle unopened. The clapping stopped. Someone coughed. Haley stopped smiling. She turned to me. Jake, what is this? I didn't answer. Just clicked again. Now we had a 4-image panel. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, same pattern every week for 2 months. Same smiles. Same doors. Same ghosted gym equipment. Slide 10 was a quote. Leg day? Killed me. Haley, last Tuesday, 6:02 p.m. Beneath it, a security cam still of her walking past the weight room without entering. Dead silence. Someone whispered, "Oh my God." Haley's face turned chalk white. She opened her mouth, but no sound came out. Slide 11. A final image. Haley in the passenger seat of Troy's car. Window down. her hand on his shoulder. Caption: post-workout cool down. Then the screen went black. I turned to the crowd, lifted my smoothie. To transformation. A few people laughed nervously. Most looked horrified. The moms were whispering. Her co-workers were already pulling out their phones. Haley? She looked like someone had unplugged her from reality. Jake, she said, almost a whisper. What? What the hell was that? I raised an eyebrow. A progress report. You humiliated me. No, I said. You did that. I just brought the projector. She turned to the crowd like they might back her up. Nobody did. That's the thing about image addicts. They build their lives around being admired, not respected. And the moment the admiration cracks, the whole thing caves. She stormed out 5 minutes later. Left her cake. Left her wine. Left the dumbbell-shaped balloons swaying in the breeze like awkward witnesses. I stayed. Took selfies with the t-shirts. Handed out leftover meatballs in plastic containers. One guy fist-bumped me and said, "Cold-blooded man." That was wow. I just smiled. Because I wasn't done yet. The party was over. But the story? That was just starting to circulate. It took exactly 8 hours for Haley's social media to go on life support. The morning after the party, I opened my phone and did a little scroll check. You know, the casual kind of reconnaissance a man does when he's drinking coffee from a mug that says, "World's most tolerant ex-husband." I wasn't looking for anything in particular. Just observing the wreckage. Haley's Instagram? Locked. Facebook? Disabled comments. TikTok? Gone entirely. She'd pulled the plug. Can't say I was surprised. The slideshow had made the rounds faster than a rumor at a beauty salon. One of her co-workers, probably the HR rep with the eyebrows that never moved, had recorded the whole thing on her phone. It ended up on a private Facebook group for local fitness moms. From there, it hit the town subreddit. The post title? She got caught cheating at her own fitness-themed birthday party. Video inside. Classy. It wasn't my doing. I didn't leak anything. I didn't have to. Like I said, I just brought the projector. The internet brought the popcorn. By Monday, Haley's personal brand had officially detonated. The girls she used to wine night with stopped texting back. The yoga buddy who always commented "Fire Queen" under her photos suddenly switched to folded hands on everything, which, in suburban passive-aggressive code, means thoughts and prayers, but also yikes. And Troy? Troy was no longer employed. Apparently, Planet Fitness doesn't look kindly on unauthorized client relationships, especially ones that involve closed-door sessions, off-the-clock rendezvous, and one very pissed-off husband with a USB drive full of time-stamped footage. A friend at the front desk confirmed it for me. He came in Saturday morning looking like a kicked puppy, she told me. Tried to talk to the manager. Got walked out with a box of protein bars and his spare shirt. Brutal, but fair. Haley called me that night. I let it ring twice before I picked up. Jake. Her voice was tight, brittle. What the hell have you done? Not much, I said. Just shared your fitness journey. You humiliated me. In front of everyone. No, I exposed you. There's a difference. You're enjoying this. No, I said calmly. I'm resolving this. She paused. I could hear her breathing. That shallow, fast kind that people get when they realize the oxygen in the room isn't going to save them. I lost my job, she said quietly. That caught me off guard. Wait, what? I was let go today? They said they're downsizing. Budget cuts. But we both know what it's really about. I didn't respond. Part of me wanted to say, play stupid games, but I held it. It wasn't just about Troy, she said, her voice breaking. I haven't been happy, Jake. For a long time. And so you cheated? No. I mean, yes, but it wasn't just. I cut her off. Don't justify it. Don't wrap it in therapy speak and call it healing. You wanted a thrill. You got one. It just came with a receipt. Silence. I want to fix this, she said finally. I laughed. Haley, there's nothing to fix. You broke the mirror. All I did was hold up the shards. Click. I hung up. She didn't call again. Instead, the next move came from her lawyer. A bland little letter about temporary separation logistics, full of polite legalese and sterile bullet points. Division of property. Use of shared vehicle. Options for mediation. I didn't fight it. Didn't escalate. I sent it to my own attorney with a sticky note that said, looks good. Just make sure she gets the Peloton. Petty? Sure. But I paid for that thing, and she only used it to hang yoga pants. Meanwhile, I got back to living. The gym? I still went. Different time slot. Different name. New trainer. A guy named Marcus who actually knew what a deadlift was and didn't hit on my wife. Marcus didn't say much, which I appreciated. On Wednesday, halfway through a session, he glanced over his clipboard and said, "You the guy from the video?" I nodded. He smirked. "Damn, that was it. Respect." The rest of the week was smooth. Ethan, our dog, stayed with me. Haley didn't ask for him, which was telling. Riley, our niece who sometimes house sat for us, texted me just once. "Dude, the slideshow? Legendary. Let me know if you want the audio synced. I can make a TikTok cut." I declined. Barely. Friday night, I went to the grocery store. Right as I pulled into the lot, guess who I saw? Haley. Alone. Sitting in her car with the engine running and her hands just on the wheel, staring forward like she was in timeout from her own life. I parked 2 rows over. She didn't see me. She looked deflated. Not like the woman I married. Not even like the woman who cheated on me. Just someone stuck between stories. It hit me then. This wasn't about revenge anymore. This was about removal. I didn't need to fight her. I didn't need to hurt her. I'd already erased her. Not from my life. From the version of her that mattered. The mask was off, and there was no encore. I started my car and pulled away. Didn't wave. Didn't look back. Because you don't watch the credits when the movie's over. 2 months post-party, the story had finally stopped echoing. At least out loud. People moved on. The video stopped getting shared. The Reddit thread got locked after someone tried to promote their protein powder in the comments. It had become one of those local legends people whispered about at barbecues. Remember that birthday thing? But no longer said out loud when I walked into a room. Which was exactly what I wanted. Quiet. Control. Distance. I wasn't trying to go viral. I was trying to go clear. Haley, though, she didn't fare as well. I didn't stalk her socials, but people talked. Always do. Word was, she tried joining a new gym across town. Didn't last long. One of the trainers recognized her from that video. Someone else mentioned she'd applied for a marketing job at a supplement brand. Got ghosted after the second interview when they Googled her name. The internet never forgets. Neither do suburban moms with free time and group chats. She'd become socially radioactive. Not because she cheated. Let's be honest, plenty of people cheat and bounce back, but because she lost the narrative. And in our town, losing the narrative is worse than losing a marriage. She went quiet. Stayed home. Ghosted her girls. Even her sister, the one with the minivan and the 2 blonde kids, stopped tagging her in throwbacks. But me? I was thriving. Started running again. Real runs, not treadmill limps and fluorescent lighting, but early morning trail runs where the air's still cold and the only soundtrack is your own breath. Marcus, my new trainer, kept it simple. No, let's push limits garbage. Just showed up, gave orders, tracked results. The man was basically fitness military. I like that. I also reconnected with a few friends I hadn't seen since the wedding days. One of them, Ben, invited me to a poker night with guys I barely knew. I went. Took $40 off a chiropractor who couldn't bluff to save his spine. It felt good. Normal. Quietly victorious. Then, late one Saturday, I got a message from a number I didn't recognize. It was a photo of Haley at a restaurant, sitting across from someone. No caption. No context. Just a low-light snap, taken from across the room, like a private investigator had a shaky hand and no sense of privacy. I stared at it for a moment. Haley looked composed. Lipstick on. Same curled hair she used to wear to parties. Eyes fixed on the guy across from her. But that guy? That's what made me sit up. It wasn't Troy. It was Chris, Troy's old roommate. I recognized him instantly, because back in the first week of my recon, I saw him once, briefly, handing Troy a shaker bottle in the Planet Fitness lobby. They'd joked around. Looked like old college friends. I thought nothing of it at the time. Apparently, I should have thought more. I ran a search, just out of curiosity. Chris wasn't a trainer. He worked in logistics for a warehouse distributor and moonlighted as a part-time influencer. Fitness adjacent, I guess. Enough to look the part. Enough to be around the scene without raising flags. But here's the kicker. He and Haley had followed each other on Instagram for over a year. Even during her just joined the gym phase. Which meant Troy? He was a decoy. The main event was Chris. That's why she didn't freak out when Troy ghosted her. That's why she didn't chase him down or beg him to explain. Because he was never the guy, just the cover. She'd been playing 2 levels above what I thought. Smiling at Troy, touching his arm, disappearing into rooms. all while keeping her real thing quiet. Chris, with his zero connections to Planet Fitness, his invisible paper trail, his forgettable face. Smart. Too smart. I sat with that realization for a long time. Not angry. Not even impressed. Just recalibrated. All this time, I thought I'd nuked her world. But she'd already rebuilt it, underground. This wasn't a comeback. It was a backup plan. And honestly, I respected the hell out of it. Didn't mean I forgave her, but I finally understood her. Haley wasn't a cheater because she was broken. She was a cheater because she was strategic. She didn't trip and fall into someone's arms. She ran simulations, weighed variables, picked partners who wouldn't talk, who didn't matter, who'd burn clean. She didn't just cheat on me. She outflanked me. And I, the guy who once built an entire revenge plot with spreadsheets, gym check-ins, and a slideshow presentation, I didn't even see it. Not really. The next morning, I deleted the photo. Didn't reply. Didn't ask who sent it. Didn't spiral. Instead, I poured a coffee, put on my running shoes, and opened the front door to a perfectly normal Sunday. Because the thing I'd finally figured out was this. Winning doesn't mean breaking the other person. It means being done with them. And I was done. No more footage. No more texts. No more analysis. Let Haley rebuild her next story. I just wouldn't be part of it. It ended in a brewery. Not with a bang. Not with a meltdown. But with craft beer and concrete floors and a surprise open mic in front of 30 people who didn't know they were about to watch someone unravel in real time. That someone wasn't me. Let me back up. 3 weeks after I saw the photo of Haley and Chris, I got an invite from our old mutual friend, Adam. Adam's one of those guys who somehow stayed friends with both of us without ever picking sides, probably because he never really listened. Nice guy, big smile. Always has a Bluetooth speaker clipped to his backpack like he's the human version of a Spotify playlist. His birthday was coming up. He sent out a big invite to a local taproom, nothing fancy. Beers, food truck, maybe a cornhole board if someone remembered to bring one. Low-key, good vibes, he said in the group chat. I almost didn't go, but then he sent me a follow-up message. FYI, Haley RSVP'd yes. Just so you're not caught off guard. He included a shrug emoji like that made it casual. I stared at the message for a solid minute. Then I packed a button down and booked a haircut. Not out of spite, just for the exit. See, most people think the final moment of a breakup is the yelling, the reveal, the dramatic walkout. But it's not. It's when you show up later, calm, indifferent, improved, and the other person realizes they no longer have real estate in your head. That's the death blow. That's the real ending. So yeah, I went. Walked in 5 minutes late, handed over a six-pack of something expensive sounding, and shook hands like nothing had ever happened. People smiled. People nodded. A couple gave me that little side eye of respect like, ah, yes, the guy from the slideshow. I wore it like a medal. Then I saw her. Haley. Across the room, near the flight board. Hair curled. Dark jeans. Heels. No date. Holding a half-full glass and pretending to listen to someone explain the difference between IPA and session IPA. She looked up, saw me, froze for exactly half a second, then smiled. Forced. Controlled. The kind of smile that means, I'm fine, which always means they're absolutely not. I gave her a nod. Just one. Didn't approach. Didn't wave. Just kept moving. Adam hugged me and handed me a drink. I posted up near the corner with some of the quieter guys. Listened to small talk. Laughed at the right moments. Didn't mention her once. But she kept glancing. Every few minutes, I'd feel it. And that's when I decided to do something petty. Not cruel. Not loud. Just surgical. The brewery had this little wall display. A mounted iPad where guests could take short video messages for Adam. A birthday scrapbook, digital style. He'd told me about it earlier. Just say something dumb, you know? Toast, roast, whatever. I waited until most people had already done theirs. Then I walked over. Hit record. Looked straight into the camera and said, Happy birthday, man. Hope 35 hits better than 34 did. You've always been a solid friend. Loyal, honest, transparent. You're the kind of guy people can trust in any room. Wish more people were like that. Cheers. I hit stop. Left it at that. No wink. No sarcasm. Just a scalpel, gliding under the ribs. I walked away without checking to see if she saw it. Didn't need to. 20 minutes later, Adam stood up and made a short toast. Thanked everyone. Asked if we wanted to play the video messages now or later. Someone yelled now. So he tapped the screen, and the clips started playing on a TV above the bar. Mostly jokes. One guy pretended to cry. A girl from college rapped badly. Then came mine. The room went quiet. Not completely, just that awkward semi-hush when something hits too close to real. I kept my face still. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw her. Rigid, eyes fixed on the screen. Wine glass frozen halfway to her mouth. After it ended, Adam raised his glass and said, "Man, Jake always goes deep, huh?" Laughter. Light applause. The moment passed. But Haley didn't. She came up to me about 15 minutes later. Not aggressive. Not apologetic. Just present. "Can we talk?" she asked. I tilted my head. Are we talking? Or is this one of those say something so I feel better deals? She winced. Okay. Fair. I followed her outside to the patio. It was dark. Quiet. Cold enough to feel honest. She leaned on the railing. I saw the photo. "What photo?" I said. "Of me and Chris. At the restaurant." I didn't respond. She looked away. "We weren't. It's not what you think." "It's exactly what I think," I said. "And that's fine. I'm not here to shame you. I'm just not interested anymore." She turned toward me. "You don't even want to know the truth?" "No," I said. "Because the truth is whatever you need it to be that day. And I'm not buying subscriptions anymore." She blinked. That one hit. I stepped past her, walked toward the exit. Before I pushed the door, she called out, "Jake." I paused. She looked small. Honest. Not makeup honest. Emotionally honest. "I really did love you," she said quietly. I nodded. "I know." Then I walked out. Didn't look back. Didn't slow down. Because the real win is when they finally realize they lost something real. And you? You don't even feel the need to gloat. You just go home, sleep well, and never sweat it again. Subscribe to the channel